Do your hubcaps cover up what's supposed to look nice? Well, we've got a lot of rust and a lot of grime popping off this hubcap and rim. And do you want it to look more like this? Well, I'm gonna show you exactly how to make it look better. Or at least give it a little tune-up so you know how to make it look good. Slash that on there so my neighbors don't complain. I'm gonna give the valve stem a little bit of penetrating oil. Give some up here too. There we go. Take this little slime tool. I recommend buying one online because this thing is awful. We're gonna pull the valve stem out. It's gonna get replaced anyways, so we're gonna pull it out. Moly moly. Taking a pair of vice grips, gone to the valve stem, pull, and it's out. Sometimes you can reuse these. In this case, I'm just going to replace it. I'm going to remove the hub from the rim. This should actually not happen to your car. If this happens, you have a serious problem. I have the old hub from the wheel bearing put on here just for giggles, and it's so I wouldn't lose it. But if this actually happens to you, you got a serious problem, and I recommend you go get help right away. I'm going to remove these 4 lug nuts. They're 21 millimeters. Remove the other 2. 2. Hub out. Now with the rim stripped of its components, we can start working on cleaning up the rim and preparing it for paint. So then we can get this thing looking much better than it is, because these rust. They're steel rims, they rust. You don't want them looking rusty. And I'm gonna start sanding it down so we have a couple of spots that are much higher than others. I'm just gonna give those a nice little sanding before I take the wire brush to them. Go grab something to put underneath there. I'm just gonna sand out these imperfections. Kind of just scruff it up. Try and get as much of the old paint and material and rust off as I can. You want to be careful when you do this, especially if there's wind around, just because you don't want to breathe in some of this black dust, which you think might be paint, but it's paint mixed in with brake pad material, and brake pad material actually has asbestos in it. This rim came off of a 1994 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. Well, they probably used asbestos materials in that time, so you want to be very careful not to breathe that or wear something to cover up your face. Just take extra precautions while you're doing that and wear safety goggles. I'm not going to worry about the lug holes only because if you're going to be driving lug nuts in and out, as long as it stays within the margin of the lug hole, I think that it's fine. I'm going to dump that and then let it sit so I can clean it off. Using some dish soap and this thing, I'm going to spray the dish soap on the rim like so. Try and knock off some of the contaminants or the stuff that I sanded down. Give it some water from the hose. Kind of just scrub it down. So what I'm doing is I'm scrubbing off the stuff I just sanded. Now that it's been cleaned off with the dish soap a bit, I'm just gonna spray it down a bit. Because why not? I'm gonna clean off the back side as well. The paint looks intact still, so I'm not gonna paint the back side of the steel rim. If it is bad, then I just take a wire brush, smooth it out, and then give it a nice like 2 coats of spray paint. Otherwise, there's no reason. Even if I move the camera back, it's still getting wet. Now that the rim is wetter than my dog on a rainy day, I grabbed some paper towels, and because you don't want to let this rust again, I'm just gonna kind of wipe up the water off the rim. See all that stuff that I sanded down coming off, and it's drying much quicker. The ultimate goal is you kind of want to take off as much of the rust as you can before you paint it. In this case, I'm going to wait for a nice warmer day before I paint it. So it's prepped. I'm going to throw it in plastic, put it inside the garage, and let it sit until I pull it back out. There we go. Come on. Come on. No walk? No walk? Come on. What are you doing? Want to say hi? Seems like a nice, good, and bright day to finish painting that rim. Alright, I'm going to set this rim right here like this. And I'm able to get it ready for the black paint. And as you can see, after a couple of days of sitting in Michigan moisture, we have rust again. I'm just going to paint over it. These are steel rims. I shake the spray can very well. I got to shake it. I paint the rim. I want to do nice even passes to try and get it as evenly as I can. So going one after another. You don't want to get bound up in one spot. You don't want to start here and then go to here. You want to start off the edge to off the edge. So kind of like this, or like this, or like that. You don't want to get bound up spraying from here to here or anywhere on here, because you'll get bubble marks, you'll get runny marks, and all of the above. When the wind starts to settle for a second, I'm going to start to paint. And the reason I chose this spot is because the car is right there, the wind is blowing this way, and it's away from the car. So we're going to do a couple of nice even passes in order to kind of just get like a base coat down. Kind of getting that first layer down. We're going to wait about 10 minutes and then start to put on like 2 or 3 more layers. And sooner or later, this will start to be nice black. Been about 10 minutes. I'm going to shake the can back up a little more and go a couple more passes. So we're going to do this again. As you can probably see, I overdid it right here by accident. You kind of want to do just little coats at a time. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come back and do another coat. Now I'm putting on another coat. And this time I'm going to go a little more heavy on it just because it's the third coat. And I want to kind of get it layered on everywhere I can, including inside the little crevices that this thing has. If the wind would stop blowing, my life would be so nice. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're getting somewhere. Did that, I kind of just showed you, don't make long wet passes. Well, I just made wet passes, only because the rim is such a weird shape. It's like, how do you exactly paint the rim without resulting it in getting one half of it not clear? Now that it's just sitting, I'm going to let that sit and dry, and then we're going to move it and take a look and see how it looks on the car. If the rim is dry, I'm going to pick it up and carry it over to the car, and we're going to mount it and see how it looks. With the rim dry, I'm going to unmount this rim from the car, and we're going to do a test fit to see how it looks and see what it looks like when it's on this car. I'm gonna start by removing these lug nuts. Remove the old tire from the car. I got the new rim right here, the freshly painted rim, and I'm just going to do some test fitting. I don't have a valve stem in it yet, and I don't have anything, but I want to make sure that since I got these rims specifically for this car, I want to make sure that it fits. So I'm just going to set it on there. It looks like it fits. I'm going to hold it on there. Using 4 lug nuts from my Mazda 3. I'm just going to screw them in. There we go. Look who wanted to see you. So this is the new one. This is what it looks like. It's the old one, new one. Doesn't that make a large difference? I mean, that's the old one right there, and that's the new one that I just painted. Doesn't that look so much better? I mean, comparing this one to that one makes a huge difference in when you're driving. I mean, to some people it may not be any bit different, but I thought, hey, this might actually be much more useful if I resurface it, and it might give the car a little bit more of a pleasing aesthetic. Old, new. The last thing to do to finish up is to put a valve stem inside of it. This is the valve stem hole. We have the rubber valve stem, which will be replaced before the tire gets mounted. This is the old valve stem I pulled out of it. I'm going to apply a little bit of lubricant. There we go. Try and roll it around a little bit using the slime tool that I recommend you never get because this thing is awful. I'm going to put the valve stem through a little bit of ways. Spin the tool on there. And then we're just gonna kind of yank it back and forth. And you heard that thunk? We yanked it back and forth a couple of times, and now it's in there. There we go. Now we've got the valve stem installed, and that's it. I hope this video helped you as a person to kind of resurface your rims a little bit to make them look a little more glossy and kind of change the overall appeal of them, so if you're driving, you don't have some rusty piece of metal on your car, and you're able to make it look just a tad bit more kind of original, if I would say. But I hope this video helps you. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more. Check out my channel for car fixins and cameras and many other things.